There's more to Brussels than its namesake sprouts. It also has plenty of interesting sports venues. So here are the stadiums and arenas of Brussels, Belgium. The Lotto in Lotto Park is not in reference to the Italian sportswear brand as you might suspect, but in fact it's the Belgian National Lottery. Which is fitting because I think a lot of the people watching this might buy themselves a stadium if they ever won the lottery. Although I don't think you'd win enough on the Belgian National Lottery to buy a Lotto Park. I'd probably go with the Euro Millions instead if I were you. But maybe also consider aiming for a slightly more realistic goal than purchasing a stadium. You start at a car, then a house, then a stadium. That's how it's always been. Brussels has plenty of very old stadiums, however, having opened in 1917, this is the oldest of the bunch. It's clearly not as old as the surrounding streets though, because as you may have noticed, one corner of the stadium appears to have been cut off by the road, which might annoy all of the equilateral enthusiasts out there. But I quite like that, it adds a bit of character to the interior. Stade Edmon Mar. Compared to the last one, this stadium is rather simple. It consists of 2 proper stands with covered seating, as well as a very small terrace at the western end of the ground. Which is why it might surprise you to hear that it was once a regular home of the Belgian national football team. That was way back in the 1920s though, when the stadium was brand new. It also hosted a friendly between Belgium and France, just a few months after World War II ended. 3-2 to Belgium. Recently an artificial turf field was installed, and although I do prefer natural grass, I do kinda like that red trim. You are the creator of your destiny. So they only have themselves to blame for getting relegated last season. Stade Joseph Marion. This place certainly doesn't have world-class amenities, it is antiquated and even the club itself want to build a new stadium one day. Yet it's still my favourite ground in the city, partially due to the beautiful brick and stone facade of the main stand that complements the neighbourhood perfectly. But on the other side there's an equally beautiful but less urban setting. The stadium's situated in a heavily wooded park, which happens to be situated in an area of the city called Forest. I can't help but feel that Forest is named after this forest, just as Manhattan was named after a man with many hats. Most of the capacity at this ground is coming from uncovered terracing, but it seems like a great place to watch a game, even if you do have to stand in the rain, leaning on the rail with intense back pain. It's insane. I could go on, but I'll refrain. Speaking of forest, Forest National is also situated in the forest area. It only occasionally acts as a sports venue nowadays, hosting a bit of tennis or basketball here and there. But it was home to Brussels Royals, an ice hockey team, for 25 years. But unlike the Belgian royal family, these Brussels Royals no longer exist. Of course, it is music that keeps the lights on in here. It hosts plenty of concerts, including some by the only Belgian singer I can think of off the top of my head. I hope to one day memorize the lyrics to that song. So far I've got Ça plane pour moi. I just need to learn the other bits. Since this is the national stadium of Belgium, a bilingual country, I think I'll go with the neutral English name of King Baudouin Stadium. Don't worry, that's not the Belgian king that did all that horrible stuff in the Congo. That was King Leopold II. King Leopold III was actually at this stadium's opening ceremony back in 1930. In those days there was a wooden cycling track surrounding the field, rather than a running track as is the case today. The most well-known event in this ground's history was probably the disaster that occurred in 1985, before a European Cup final between Juventus and Liverpool, where 39 people, mostly Juventus supporters, were crushed trying to escape from the Liverpool supporters. It was known as the Hazel Disaster, as this ground was called Hazel Stadium back then. Part of the reason that disaster occurred was because the stadium was in poor condition, and poorly designed. So in the mid-90s it was almost entirely rebuilt and renamed. There have been more recent plans to renovate it extensively, but that has only resulted in a new track and new seats to let you know which city you're in. It's Brussels. ING Arena. Unlike Forest National, this place has never had a permanent sporting tenant. I think about the only notable sporting event it has hosted in its brief history was the 2017 Davis Cup semi-final between Belgium and Australia. I say short history, but actually, this building was originally one of the halls built for the 1989 Brussels Expo, and then was redesigned and built into its current form in 2013. They really placed an emphasis on the acoustics when redesigning the arena. And the arena management even states that they can make any artist sound good. Oh, hang on, there's an asterisk there. What does that refer to? Except for Nickelback. Well, that's fair enough though. And those were the stadiums of Brussels. Thanks for watching, have a good one.